Wonderful. Well, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're so happy to see so many of you, and we might have some more people coming in to our wonderful virtual worlds. Of course, we welcome them. My name is Karen Corman, and I have the privilege of being the Executive Director of your UIC Alumni Association. And welcome to the 2022 Golden Graduate Celebration. We are honored to be here in this virtual world with you today, and I know some of you will be joining us in person tomorrow. But whether you're coming in person or not, we're just happy that we were here today and able to celebrate you a little bit and just talk about your history and all your contributions and everything that you did to lay a foundation at the Circle campus, which then of course became UIC. And we're just really honored to be with you here today. So with that, I think we can go ahead and get started. Oh, I already see a chat and I just said we can chat it and I didn't look at the chat. Oh, thank you. Yep. So welcome and please go ahead and let us know. Thank you so much, Lorena. So really this morning, we're excited to share this program with you. We have a wonderful alumna here with us, a three-time alumna that's going to share some reflections with us in just a moment. And then my colleague Wendy is going to take you through a then and now. Again, please feel free to jump in with other thoughts as she goes through that program. Then we'll take a short break just to stretch those legs. And if you want to grab a snack, please do. And then my other colleague, Emily Ann, will take us through UIC Today and sort of the changes that have happened on campus. I would love to know if people have been on campus recently, and recently can be within the last 50 years. And if you've seen any of those changes that have taken place, and particularly as she's talking, just would love to get your feedback as she shares some of the master plans that are in place and where UIC is going. And then we have a special recording that we will bring to you, which is a song that's performed by UIC's a cappella group, the Downtown Voices. And then finally, as I mentioned at the beginning, we will take you off microphones and we hope that you will share your stories. I truly say that this is one of our most favorite programs of the year, today and tomorrow. We love to hear about your stories. We see. Oh, sorry, did I hear somebody? Sorry, that could have been on my end. Sorry about that. Would love to hear your stories about your time at Circle. And we will take the good, the bad, and the ugly. We know that you went to school during some very challenging times in the world and in the city of Chicago. And so love to hear about those experiences and how they made you who you are today. So with that, I think we're gonna get started with a little bit of a video and then we'll come back. In the mid-1960s, the first class of undergraduate students graduated from the University of Illinois, Chicago, or as it was called at the time, the Circle campus. In 2016, the UIC Alumni Association started a new tradition of honoring alumni celebrating their 50th anniversary of their graduation by creating the Golden Graduates program as part of UIC's winter commencement ceremonies. The Golden Graduates wear golden caps and gowns to celebrate 50 years since their own graduation. There are so many aspects that make the Golden Graduates activities and ceremony special. Many of our alumni weren't able to attend their graduations. Maybe they were working, or away defending our country, or simply unable to travel to the Chicago Stadium. For alumni that were unable to attend their original graduation, it is a chance to acknowledge their accomplishments from so many years ago. And if they were able to attend, this special ceremony often brings back fond memories and friendships from their time in the peer room and throughout campus. The Golden Graduate Ceremony also provides an opportunity for alumni to see what UIC is today, how we have grown, changed, and developed, but have always remained faithful to our mission of providing the broadest access to excellent education. Hearing stories of their time on campus and seeing their reaction to and pride in UIC Today has always been a highlight of the year. Additionally, for our newest graduating class, this ceremony symbolizes the lifelong connection to UIC. Whether this is your first graduation from UIC or your 50th anniversary, on behalf of your Alumni Association, we congratulate you. I failed to mention that video will be played at the commencement ceremonies tomorrow. There are two commencement ceremonies, one for the graduate students and one for the undergraduate students, but the Golden Graduate component is part of both of the ceremonies. While the folks that are attending in person will attend the morning ceremony, we do make sure that we acknowledge our Golden Graduates both in the program in both programs. Now I am thrilled to turn the program over to Ms. Ori Panik, who is our three-time graduate, and that also helps us because she was a graduate of our law school, our new law school. If you didn't know we have a law school, we do. She is a native Chicagoan and was raised in Englewood, and we're just so excited that she's here today to share her thoughts, and she has a wonderful history. So thank you so much for being with us, and I'll turn it over to you. Oh, we got to pull you off microphone. Let's see. There we go.
Thank you for inviting me. My life runs in a circle, starting with Circle Campus. And as one of only a few Black students on campus at the time, my journey was complicated with both honor and racial bias. But it was when I participated in a UIC SNCC, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, protest rally against a required reading, a book called Tally's Corner, that I found my calling for both civil rights and social justice. That protest rally, which closed down Halsted Street, was included students of all colors, all genders, and it inspired me to want to learn more about what it meant to stand up for civil rights and social justice. But as a single mom, my husband was a Vietnam veteran and came back with post-traumatic stress disorder. So I had to work full-time a lot of the time and take care of my daughter. But when I could, there were classes that were at noontime, which were really great that I could attend. But also, you know, it just took a while for me to understand what's my journey? Where should I be? And I went back and got my BA in Administration of Criminal Justice, my master's degree, Administration of Criminal Justice, and then later my law degree from John Marshall, now UIC. But that connection was very meaningful for me because in the late 90s, mid 90s, the circle of my life really hooped when I ran an organization called the Leadership Council for Metropolitan Open Communities, the only fair housing organization in the country that was started by Dr. King when he was in Chicago. It was there that I was able to work with a Leadership Council board member, a political trailblazer, Dawn Clark Netsch, who was then state controller, the first woman to win that position. And later got introduced from her to her husband, Walter Netsch, who was the architect of one of my favorite buildings when I attended UIC. So for me, that was full circle from the coming to the campus in the late 60s and meeting one of the architects of that campus in the 90s. That's the circle of my life.
Thank you, Ori, very much. Appreciate that. Appreciate your reflection. I'm going to go ahead and move us along to the next portion of our presentation. So my name is Wendy Kruper. I'm the director of alumni engagement here at the UIC Alumni Association. And, you know, we know that the 1960s and 70s were full of life-changing events at Circle. But what hasn't changed? UIC is still largely a first-generation campus full of college students, the first generation, and also many of them still work full and part-time jobs in order to complete their education. At Circle in 1971-72, there were 12 colleges of study. There were colleges to study liberal arts, engineering, and areas of healthcare. Today, we have 16 schools and colleges, including 3 Chicago campuses, what we call West, East, and with the recent addition of UIC Law in the downtown loop. We also have 3 medical campuses outside of Chicago: Rockford, Peoria, and Urbana. So enrollment in your last year of Circle was 22,664. We're going to run a quick poll here. You can, it should pop up right on your Zoom screen. We're wondering if you have any ideas of what today's enrollment is at UIC. Okay, so most of you said 35,283. And there we go. 33,747 is the current enrollment at UIC. So that includes over 20,000 undergraduate students, 7,700 graduate students and over 4,000 professional students. Next, let's talk about tuition. I'm very envious every time I see these numbers. Tuition in 1971-72 was $132 per quarter. Once you tally up the fees and insurance, it was $171, making for $684 per year. So we've got another poll for you because we're wondering what you all think tuition is today at UIC. So take your best guess. Okay, most of you seems like it's going with 18,356. 15,784. So that is the average undergraduate tuition. I also want to draw your attention to the sort of small print at the bottom because I don't believe on-campus housing was available when you attended Circle, but we do have some now, and it runs from about $8,600 a year to almost $15,000 a year to live on campus. Athletics were also a part of campus life at Circle with a variety of sports for you to enjoy, either to participate in or enjoy attending. On the men's side, we had football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, tennis, golf, track, gymnastics, swimming, fencing, and wrestling. For the women, we had basketball, synchronized swimming, badminton, dance, twirling, and cheerleading. So now we thought we would take a look at some key events on campus during your last year at Circle. We heard from you through the registration process. It was a very challenging time to be on campus. So we thought we'd mention a few of the news articles that we came across when we were preparing this presentation. In May, there was a protest against Nixon's North Vietnam blockade. Earlier that academic year in November, there was an anti-war strike hosted by the Circle Strike Coalition. There was an abortion legal fund established, and also the Circle Gynecology Clinic opened with Dr. Clowens treating patients. We also learned that there was a big debate to change possibly from quarters to semesters, and the students voted to keep the quarter system. And I came across a number of articles about the potential of demolishing the RAB building and its iconic Mickey Mouse clock, which is obviously no longer there. But I didn't know what the RAB building is, and I learned it was the Racine Avenue building. There's a number of articles about this. Campus speakers included governor's candidate Dan Walker, Eugene McCarthy, Bobby Seale, and Margaret Mead. And there was also a number of student-run services and groups, including the aforementioned Abortion Legal Fund, the Association for Minority Engineers, Circle Student Law Center, and a lunch co-op that opened and fought the university to remain on campus. And this is actually one of my favorite parts of the program. So we're going to run another poll. How much do you think a loaf of bread cost in 1972, if you can remember? Okay, it looks like most of you are going for 25 cents. So you are correct. Additionally, a gallon of milk cost just over 50 cents, and a six-pack of beer was $2.07. I've got one more for you. Can you recall how much a first-class stamp cost in 1972? Oh, wow. Okay, 8%, 8 cents. Okay. Let's see. All right, those of you who said 8 cents were right. The average cost of a car was only $3,500, and the average cost of a house, something I'm also jealous of, $30,500. All right. Next up, we look at a couple of key events in 1972. So President Nixon ordered the development of a space shuttle program. Shirley Chisholm was the first African-American congresswoman to announce her candidacy for president. The Mariner 9 space probe sent back pictures from Mars. President Nixon met with Mao Zedong on a historic 8-day visit to the People's Republic of China. The Godfather premiered in New York City. The Watergate scandal was really getting underway, with 5 White House operatives being arrested for their part in burglarizing the offices of the DNC. The last ground troops withdrew from Vietnam. The television series MASH began its run on CBS. And lastly, Atari released Pong, which set off the first generation of video games. What other events do you remember? Because I came across quite a few, and if you have anything else that really sticks out in your memory, please feel free to put them in the chat. Our next slide, which I'm going to turn to in just a second, is a quick video about the history of the Circle campus.
The UIC you know today began as an extension of the University of Illinois on what is now one of Chicago's premier tourist destinations, Navy Pier. That was 1946. Following World War II, the University of Illinois sought to increase its presence in Chicago by creating a temporary 2-year branch campus on Navy Pier. The Chicago Undergraduate Division, as it was known, was intended primarily to accommodate the influx of returning veterans eager to take advantage of the GI Bill. The lakeside location earned the Navy Pier campus the nickname Harvard on the Rocks. At that time, however, Navy Pier was not the bright, attractive venue we know today as Chicago's leading tourist attraction. The 3,000-foot pier was a dreary functional port facility which the university shared with other tenants, including the Chicago Police Department Traffic Division and several military detachments. After the war, and after the initial wave of returning veterans had passed through, demand for a public university in Chicago remained high. The university made plans to create a permanent, degree-granting campus in the Chicago area. The site was a 100-acre parcel at the junction of Greektown and Little Italy. To accommodate a planned student body of 32,000 in such a small area, famed Chicago architect Walter Nash arrayed the campus buildings in concentric rings like a water droplet. The University of Illinois at Chicago Circle, named for the nearby ultramodern freeway interchange, opened in February 1965.
Our city would be sorely lacking if we did not provide the advantages of a great state university for all of the young people of our city and the nearby area.
Circle, as it was commonly called, was a degree-granting institution with ambitions to become a great university. Within 5 years of the campus's opening, a period during which it was the fastest growing campus in the country, enrollment grew from 5,000 to 18,000, and almost every department began offering graduate degrees. Befitting the location of the campus at a crossroads, many of Circle's students were the first families to attend college, as are many of UIC's students today. UIC was born in 1982, when the Circle and Medical Center campuses were consolidated to form a comprehensive university with 7 health science colleges and an academic medical center. Consolidation helped UIC reach elite Carnegie Research 1 status, and it remains the only public institution in Chicago to be awarded that designation. One of UIC's newer residence halls, Stugel Towers, opened in 2007 and was the capstone of UIC's South Campus development. As a public-private partnership, it brought student housing, retail stores, restaurants, and private residence to the historic Maxwell Street neighborhood. The influx of faculty and staff families and the expansion of student housing helped UIC change from a daytime commuter campus to a vibrant 24-hour academic community. In the summer of 2019, 3 major campus projects came to fruition, reflecting UIC's explosive growth in the College of Engineering. The 57,500 square foot UIC Engineering Innovation Building opened. Housing chemical and civil and material engineering students, the new building provides unique learning opportunities, attracts top academic talent, and will help drive innovation and growth in the industry. The unveiling of the 151,000 square foot academic and residential complex located on Harrison Street also took place. Another private-public partnership, the New Living Learning Community, provides residential accommodations for 550 students, a fitness center, social and study lounges, a retail space, as well as 3 large lecture halls, 4 classrooms, several study rooms, and a tutoring center. The university also acquired Chicago's first and only public law school, now known as the UIC School of Law, after the approval of the Higher Learning Commission. As UIC's 16th college, it will continue to operate at its downtown Loop location, expanding UIC's footprint in the city and provided current and prospective law students with more affordable education. Today, the University of Illinois Chicago is an acclaimed research institution with 16 colleges and over 34,000 students, vital to the educational, technological, and cultural fabric of the region. UIC boasts a community of more than 320,000 alumni. Their hard work, leadership, discovery, and service has a tremendous impact in and around Chicago, as well as across the globe. The UIC Alumni Association works diligently to keep them connected to UIC and one another in a variety of meaningful ways. As the largest institution of higher education in the Chicago area, UIC is recognized as one of the most ethnically and culturally diverse universities in the country and is devoted to developing leaders that strive to serve others and make a difference globally.
So we can, or we will follow up via email with links to the video. Let me get us. So you can watch that again if you would like. It's also available on the UIC website, but we won't make you search around for it. We'll send that to you as well as the Golden Grads video. Lastly, I just wanted to share a couple of things with you. We've done a number of virtual events in the last couple of years focusing on some of the history of UIC. Including one on the evolution of UIC's architecture, untold stories of UIC, and from Navy Pier to here, sort of a general history discussion. And I also encourage you, if you're interested, to look at the University Library website. They have a number of special collections and archive section that is really great to look at. They also have full yearbooks online that you can take a look at. So it's a really great resource if you're looking to, spend some time reflecting back on your time at Circle. So now let's just take a quick 10-minute break, give everybody a chance to stand up. Why don't we plan on coming back at 11:40 and we will pick back up with our presentation. Thank you.
Good morning or afternoon, everyone. My name is Emily Ann Walrath, and I'm the Associate Director for Student and Recent Alumni Engagement here with the UIC Alumni Association. We're going to start things back up again here with talking about UIC today and our plans for the future with everything we have going on campus. I am honored to be here celebrating with you today, and I'm excited to share more about the many enhancements that are happening across UIC. First are a couple of the new buildings that were mentioned in the From Peer to Present video that we just watched. Excuse me while I try to get my presentation to continue. All right, the first one is the Engineering Innovation Building. It is the first new building in a number of years. I believe it's been over a decade, and that opened in summer 2019. The Chemical Engineering and Civil and Materials Engineering departments occupy this building that was mentioned in the video, and it's also home to the Chicago area's only high bay structural research laboratory, which enables engineers and industry professionals to develop and test large and heavy infrastructure components. So the primary objectives for this are to design and test resilient, energy efficient, and reliable infrastructure, extend the life of existing infrastructure, and explore innovative new materials. The next building, which was also mentioned in the video, is the Academic and Residential Complex, which is known as the ARC. This also opened in 2019. As the video showed, the building boasts contemporary living spaces for students in one wing and state-of-the-art classroom spaces on the other. It also houses a Starbucks that is managed entirely by UIC students in partnership with the UIC College of Business Administration. This project, as the video mentioned as well, is a public-private partnership and is financed by American campus communities. One of our newest buildings that just opened this fall is the Bruno and Sally Pasquinelli Outpatient Surgery Center and Specialty Clinics. It's a brand new state-of-the-art facility built to serve the Chicago community and to continue to attract talented medical professionals. The OSC is home to outpatient surgery, transplant services, ophthalmology, ear, nose, and throat care, head and neck surgery, urology, and gastroenterology. This next one is a capital project that's still in development, the Computer Design Research and Learning Center. UIC broke ground on this, its second engineering building, in July 2021. The 135,000 square foot building will include 16,000 square feet of classroom space and 35 labs, including a 1,200 square foot robotics lab. You may be aware that the College of Business Administration is one of the university's most rapidly growing colleges. And to accommodate the growing student population, a new building is planned near the UIC Halstead, CTA Station, and Peoria Street Gateway. The intention of this particular location is to encourage and promote engagement with the city and its business community. At the site of the former ComEd substation, which may have been on campus during your time, is the new North Quad. It will add more green space for leisure and recreation and offer beautiful views of downtown Chicago. And who doesn't love the views of downtown Chicago? I know I love riding down on the Metra to see the skyline on my way to work in the morning. Another thing you may remember from your time on campus is the amphitheater. That is now the central quad and is a popular space for students to gather. The master plan includes enhancements to this particular area on campus, including a lawn at the center of the space, fire pits, a wintertime ice rink, and other amenities to make it a four-season space students will be excited to use the entire year. And the last thing I would like to share with you is about the Promenade Extension, which will be located at Halstead Street and Roosevelt Road. This will improve campus circulation and provide a new pedestrian path connecting our South Campus around Maxwell Street to the heart of the East Campus. The use of UIC button signs and other amenities will help pedestrians know that they are on campus at UIC. So those are just a few things that are happening. And when I say a few, quite a few things that are happening at UIC, and the things that UIC is doing to improve the student experience and continue to serve the Chicagoland community. You can learn more about these and other campus improvements, as well as details about the UIC master plan at cppm.uic.edu/master plan. And now I would like to turn it back over to Karen, who will share a bit more about how the university serves its alumni like you through programs like the Golden Graduate Celebration. Karen?
Thanks so much, Emily Ann. So how is everybody doing? This is hard in the Zoom world where I can't actually see. There we go. I can see people a little bit better. And I know we're talking at you a lot, and really that's not the purpose of this. We do want you to come off microphones here in just a moment and chat with each other and with us. But just really quickly, and we lost the slides. Can we have the slides back up? Yep, okay, they're coming back up. Just wanted to give you a little bit of context about your Alumni Association. You may be aware of this, you may not. We were part of the University of Illinois Alumni Association, and I think I saw Mr. McNally on before. I'm not sure if he's still here, but I know in particular he showed me his life member card when he joined the University of Illinois Alumni Association. If I remember correctly, it's either a gold card or a leather card, and so some of you might have done the same thing. We were part of that organization and until 2017, at which time, and let me back up, actually around 2015, the university started having a conversation about, does it make sense to have one alumni association for all 3 campuses of the University of Illinois, so Urbana-Champaign, Springfield, and then us. And there was a conversation in place of, are the experiences the same? Do alumni share the same background, same thoughts? And the answer, I can see somebody shaking their head, is no. And so I had the privilege of working at UIC 2 other times for the other alumni association, but I'd always been on the UIC or the Circle campus, and was always very happy and privileged to be able to do that. So when this opportunity came about, they had, we're higher education, so we had task force and we hired consultants and we did all the things. And all those studies came back saying it did not make sense to have one alumni association for all 3 campuses. So under our previous Chancellor Michael Amaritas, who some of you may be familiar with him and his really incredible work that he has done on campus in his 7 years that he was at UIC, he jumped at that opportunity and said, great, we're going to form and launch our own alumni association. So in 2017, we launched an alumni association. What it was interesting about that, and as I can now say, reflecting 5 years back, the word launch in my mind implies that you're rocketing forward and you know where you're going and what your destination is, and that could not have been further from the truth. We knew we wanted to have our own organization, but what that looked like was not defined at that point. So when the decision was made to change from being part of the University of Illinois Alumni Association to launching our own, if I'm just being very honest and transparent, it was very messy. The former Alumni Association closed the Chicago office, they closed the Springfield office, they closed the Alumni Career Center, they let go a lot of people in Champaign-Urbana that were working in alumni relations. So when I came back to campus in this job, which is really truly my dream job, it was messy and people were rightfully very upset and spent some time yelling at us. But we took that as an opportunity to say, great, what could it look like? We launched an alumni survey out and some of you may have taken that survey. If you did, thank you. Really to say we have our own alumni association and that we are trying to figure out where we should go. We also pulled in some loyal volunteers that had been loyal in the past and said, help us understand where we should be going. Over the last several years, and if we can go to the next slide, we launched a UIC alumni board in November of 2020. The board really has the mission of advising on how we can support meaningful engagement and connect UIC alumni with each other and supporting the mission and advocating for the university. The board is quite large. This is just a section of them, if you will. There are 68 people that serve on the board and they are broken into working committees, and they have been doing all sorts of wonderful activities since they launched just 2 years ago now. I could talk about the Alumni Association all day long. And if you'd like to know about any of the programs and activities, Wendy mentioned Alumni Exchange, which is our virtual series we do now. Obviously, this is one of our highlights of the year is this particular program and tomorrow. There are some upcoming programs and activities that we're happy to share with you here in just a moment. But before I do that, I had mentioned at the beginning, I know we had a few people call in later. Oh, thank you. I see the leather card. Thank you for having your leather card. We want to share a special performance with you by our UIC a cappella group, the Downtown Voices. We discovered the Downtown Voices at I think it was a student affairs program a few years ago, and we went running after them because I didn't know that they existed. They were founded in 2014 at UIC, and they sing a whole variety of genres. They just kicked off our men's basketball season by singing the national anthem there. So they have prepared a special performance for all of you today, over Zoom, of course. And they'll be singing House of the Rising Sun. So if we can switch to our Downtown Voices.
There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many of the girls. And Lord, I know I'm my nothing was a taste. She stole my new days. My father was a gambler. Down, down, down. And the only thing that matters is a suitcase at the just know there's enough in the house of the sun. Tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. I go
I don't know if you got chills, but I get chills. And we have a little secret at UIC that if we are on campus and we're having a bad day, which doesn't happen often, but if we do have a bad day, if we ever need energy or need to be reminded of our mission, all we have to do is walk through Student Center East, or CCC, the Chicago Circle Center. It was renamed Student Center East, which is where our office is housed. And we love just seeing our students and interacting with our students and their incredible talents and backgrounds and all of the things. So I hope that you enjoyed that performance by our UIC Downtown Voices. A couple of things coming up. I mentioned, or Wendy mentioned before, that we have our UIC Alumni Exchange program. We host these about every other week. on a variety of topics featuring UIC alumni, faculty, staff, and alumni experts. You can go back to the library. She shared with you a couple of the ones we've done on history. I think we've done about 85 of them or so. They're all online. They're 1-hour talks, again, on a variety of topics and subjects. And so we have a whole lineup planned coming up this winter and into the spring. We would love for you to join us for the UIC Alumni Awards celebration, where we will honor some incredible, just really outstanding UIC alumni. This is the highest level of alumni awards that are given out on campus. They're chancellor level awards. That will be on Thursday, April 20th. And then we will also be sending you requests if you are interested in coming back for UIC Impact and Research Day. This is where our students will present their research. You do not have to have any knowledge or background in the particular topics. In fact, part of what they need to do is present it, their research in terms that anybody could understand. That's always been an important piece for me, especially on the science-based. That's not necessarily something I have a background in, but it's a really fun way to come back and spend a few hours on campus, hear the research projects, and then you get to judge them and give those students critical feedback that they need. It's actually requirements for graduation. So that is coming up also in April. Of course, our basketball teams are out and they're playing. And so if anybody is interested in coming to a men or women's basketball team, our women are on fire. I believe they've won the last 8 of the 9 games they've played. And we're certainly happy to share the basketball schedule of what's going on and coming back to campus for that. I think with that, I really am just going to say thank you again to Ori Pennick for sharing her reflection with us. We want to thank our archivists because they really help us in the UIC library to pull this presentation together and to pull all of the history for us. So if there's something that was off or you didn't like, please tell us. We'll talk to the library, or if your recollection is different. Creative and Digital Services at UIC runs the videos and helps us with the editing of this program. And then, of course, our UIC students, our a cappella group, the Downtown Voices. So just want to send a quick thank you to all of you, and especially Ori Pennick, who is here with us today. Really next up, we're turning the program over to you and would love to have you stay on for conversations with your classmates. We can throw some questions out there. We can take you all off mic. Would love to hear your stories and background. Oh, great. I love that I can see all of you because all I could see was that screen. So it's much better to see faces. So I will just open it up if there's anybody that wants to share. And again, we will take good, bad, and ugly. We know that it's not, and even still today, it's not the easiest to get to campus. And but they've worked very, very hard to make the experience quite different, particularly on the student affairs side in the last 10 years. It's been improved immensely. Is there anybody that wants to just maybe come off mic and just introduce who you are and your background and share a fun story, or would love to see that? And I'm seeing one shaking of head no. Is there? That's which is okay. I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot. But if anybody would like to share or just talk, and I can also just be quiet.
I think I saw Lois raise her hand. And Harold, did I see you raise your hand as well? All right, so I would say go ahead and unmute yourselves if you would like to, and just start talking, sharing your memories, sharing your stories. We just love to hear about it.
All right. I put my question in the chat, but I'll repeat it now. I was at the medical center campus. I came to UIC for maybe 1 or 2 classes for complete my requirements. Anyway, I've never come to a reunion. I wasn't very involved with my classmates at the time. I was still trying to have long distance relationship with a boyfriend, and I was trying to make do all my studying. Anyway, there were a couple of people that I would love to be able to contact. I was wondering if the Alumni Association keeps contact information for former students, and is that available to us at all?
Thank you. It's an excellent question. Yes, we do keep alumni contact information. We try and make sure we can stay in contact. We do not share information out, but we are happy to, if you send us, an email, whatever you'd like to send to that person, we will do our best to forward it to that person, get that information to them. We don't share information because you don't know who, we don't know who people are comfortable with. And so like you wouldn't want us sharing your information out either. So it's more, we're happy to make those connections. And typically what we'll do is we'll send an email or call if we don't have an email on file and say, this person's trying to get a hold of you. Here's their information, please contact. And if we reach a person, I would say it's a very, very high success rate that they reach back.